All right. It looks like we are live. We make sure everything is going. This is one of the first times that I've actually done a live broadcast with YouTube. So just in case everything's up and running, right? Let's go ahead and get this party started. Here we go. Are we on? There we go. All right, guys. Well, welcome back to another episode of The Boss Life with Bonds. I am your host, Coach Siobhan Bonnie Patterson. Yes, I'm putting the word coach back into my name because recently there has just been an awakening of sorts and a realization of the fact that despite the discrepancies and despite the things that I've seen in the industry that made me really not want to be associated with the industry, I'm not going to let um, the things that I dislike be the reason why I turn my back on my calling or why I choose to go in a different direction. I still stand by what I believe and that what the work that I do with my clients and so many other of my peers in this space is it's a lot more than just, a coaching program, a cookie cutter model that we give to everybody. It is transformational. Transformational. It is facilitating transformation. It is spiritual. It is awakening. There's so many different things going on there. But for the purpose of simplifying what we do, I have no problem being called Coach Bonnie again, because I'm a firm believer that when this COVID coach rush, if you will, is done, when all is said and done, that will leave room for the real ones, right? You know what I'm saying? Like after all of the people have run their course, you'll be able to see who's still here and who actually is wanting to do this job with professionalism and with sincerity. So we're waiting right now for my friend Chris to make his way into the StreamYard studio. I don't know if he's having some difficulties or not, but I did just want to set the stage and let you know what this conversation was going to look like today with him. So let's see. Chris, if you are watching live, the link that I sent you for StreamYard is the one that you're going to click so that you can hop in and join in me here. There he is. Okay. Let me make sure that he's in there. Okay, he's in there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on now, and then I will recap you guys on the last couple of conversations as well. Beautiful. Oh, I love this for us. Can you say hello to make sure? There you are. There you are.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, is that good?
Yep. There you go.
I had a last minute headset issue before I came on. That's why.
Oh, these things happen. I'm the queen of technical difficulties, so I hear you. All right. Well, Chris, can you welcome to the show? I'm so glad that we're able to actually finally have this conversation. This is something that has been brewing beneath the surface for a while now. And with him being on the other side of the earth, it kind of presented a bit of a conflict. So thank you so much for making time to have this conversation with me. I would love it if you'd introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are and why this is on your heart.
Well, it's been what, about 18 months now since we kind of connected.
Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
And I've been 20 years in this space of mental health, personal development. I created my own nurture map, my own kind of modality, part framework for myself, bringing in neuroscience and holistic psychology and the mind body heart connection and embodied spirituality. And then it just evolved from there, really, supporting other people. The universe has kind of pulled me along the whole way. When people have seen my change and my transformation, it's always been, people want to know more, want to know what I'm doing. So it's just evolved over the years. And it's about making it simple, bringing that knowledge, making it simple, and so people can integrate it into their lives.
Yeah.
Integrating into their lives and not and not adding more stuff, not adding more things, more hacks, more routines. Actually, I saw a quote the other day that said, I can't remember who it was from, but it was like, if liberation is a chore, are really on the path to being free. And I was like, whoa, that's like all this extra stuff we're putting in to try and that's actually taken us away from a natural flow. So helping people live from the inside out, and strip back and get back to the real sense of who they are. I'm just passionate about, so it's just evolved. It will evolve from me going through my own mental health journey, and can I wake up happy? Can I wake up happy? And how do I do that? And how do I understand that? And can I go through the day with a regulated nervous system, and which inspires, the neuroscience behind that? You take healthier risks if you've got a regulated nervous system. You're inspired to take action rather than out of being fear and reactive. And that's something that's been massive, especially in this kind of like push through hustle culture where you're meant to step out. We talk about stepping out of our comfort zones, but every time we do that, it actually can activate our nervous systems. I talk about expanding your comfort zone, so you're inspired to expand, and then just ending and greeting challenges rather than kind of like dusting ourselves down, taking it on the chin. After the cure, have this preventative. And I talk about greeting challenges in new ways. How can we greet them? How can we, go through them, move through them in a new way, and just ending the day feeling fulfilled with what you've achieved, how you've moved, what you've done in your day, beyond the kind of metrics or analytics or numbers. How can we quantify that? And for me, it's feeling how you want to feel. I sometimes say I'd love people to wake up happy, but there's all kinds of, that's just a thing I use. People might want to wake up safe or content or whatever that is. So happy I use as kind of a base point, but even that is using discernment, because there could be another more powerful feeling that people want.
Yeah, I'm sitting here taking notes because I love a lot of the things that you say. And so just to recap what kind of work that he does as a transformational creator. And if you didn't catch that, Nurture Map is would you call it a platform?
It's a framework.
Framework.
Yeah. And I've realized I've done you don't mind, but I've done a typo on that transformational creator at the bottom.
Oh. I was like, can I? Yes, I can actually.
Oh yeah, go on then. Sorry, what was the question?
Oh no, I was just getting ready to start recapping what you said. I just want to know if Nurture Map was a platform or a framework.
So basically it's a physical thing. I help people create their inner map, their maps, their inner world. Someone called it a kind of inner vision board, creating inner foundations and inner safety nets. And there's 8 branches to it which help you create that inner safety. So it helps you move through things. You can set and it becomes an anchor point. So it's a physical thing, it's a model, it's a framework, it's a part modality of how to connect to your intuition. And there is extra bits that
well, you don't have to break down everything. I just wanted to know how to call it, whether it's going to be a platform or whether it was going to be a framework.
No.
Just to recap what the Nurture Map is, he helps people learn to live from the inside out, right? Getting people to the point where they can ask, can I wake up happy? I love the part where you said helping people with healed nervous systems. Studies show that it helps you to take healthier risks, and then helping people find a way to end the day feeling maybe it's happy, maybe it's fulfilled, maybe it's safe, maybe it's content, whatever. I loved all of that. And I really just wanted to drive those messages home because a lot of people that may be listening, some of them have never worked with life coaches or people that do the sort of work that we do, whatever we want to, call that. This is what it is. It's not necessarily because I used to have people that would reach out like, I'm depressed, can you help me? And the answer I feel like is yes and no. It's less about are people like us able to help you out of your, because there's some people whose depression is clinical. Like I need you to go work with someone who is like that's their area of specialty. And then some people it's just situational depression. And again, doing some using like the framework that you described. Yes, we can help people get there. But I really just I like the way that you break down what it is that you do with people. And I just really wanted people to understand that, because knowing the kind of work that you do and knowing the passion and the decades that you have in it, I really thought that was important to bring to the forefront before we start this conversation about the ones that we've been having. So it doesn't sound like just two disgruntled people, just hopping on here.
No.
Right. Like we love what we do. We love helping people. And so anything that comes out of this conversation, I just want everyone to know that it's not out of spite. It's not out of jealousy. It's more like, let's say it was a sport, right? We were really like, we were, I guess, like sports players and I don't know, my brain is not working today. But like anything that you're passionate about, that you see people come into the space and just kind of make a mockery of it or give it a bad name, that's really you're gonna take it personally. And that's kind of where we're at right now. And our goal isn't to just sit here and trash talk the fuckery that we've both seen in the coaching space. Our goal today is to, well, my intention, he may have had a different one, but like my goal is to, one, help the other coaches who are online or however you serve, know that you're not crazy, that you're not like a whole bunch of shit has happened in like a short span of time since COVID. And if you're feeling, like you said, too hustle culture-y and pressured and wondering if you're doing it wrong, no, we're here to help you understand that you're not doing it wrong. Number two, maybe if you're a client that, was on the receiving end, what is now almost like, I wouldn't say abuse, but just people not putting their clients first. If you've been on the tail end of that, we want to show you that that's not what coaching is all about, that's not normal. And that there are good people out there that really want to help make a difference. So I feel like I've been talking for a long time, and I just want to catch everybody up about the last episode, and then we'll dive into the topics here with my friend Chris. So on last episode, we talked about overnight coaches, how it became a trend, and those who were out to make a really good amount of money in a short amount of time took full advantage of that. We talked about overpricing products, which I think is going to come up here again too, because that's something that Chris and I talked about. Yes, I'm here for charging your worth, right? But price gouging people, no. Like I think that's excessive, and I spelled gouge wrong, but it's whatever. And then we also talked about courses, how a lot of people would come into the space and call themselves a coach and then create a course and never want to have one-on-ones with these people, never want to have like live Q&As, like trying to get so far away from being in a position to actually fucking coach people because they package something up as a course. And it's like, courses are not coaching. They're a supplement, they're an education tool, but it's not the same as coaching. And I think that really left a lot of people confused. So that's what I covered last time. And this time, we've got, like I said, we may want to touch base on any of those again. I'm not sure, but yeah, what out of all those things that those three things, the price gouging, the overnight coaches or overpriced products, any of those, is anything stirring within your soul to touch on?
It's interesting because I've been actually in this space since 2010, really. So I'm not sure if it quite came up. Just the pain point culture is something I've been thinking about recently. And 2010, I really didn't see many business coaches because it was all this pain point culture. And for me, something that comes across is, I believe, I love the embodied spirituality side. I love the fact of, we're energy and vibration. And something that always struck me in that place is if we're going out there and going, are you, backs up what you said before, are you depressed? Are you sad? Have you got these problems? You're almost creating an energetic match to that. So people are going to go, oh yeah, oh shit, it's going to bring them down. And I say, if I came into you and this is what happens in the business coaching space and said, right, your podcast could do that. I've had someone message me and out of the blue, added them as a friend. They were a coach, and they messaged me, did the whole cold DM thing, and said, "Oh, you clearly haven't got. Well, you're obviously struggling with clients because you're not doing videos, you're not doing live videos." And that put me in a space straight away. He goes, "Yeah, I don't do live videos. I used to do them all the time. I've evolved. I'm not really. I do them when I feel like. It's not a thing." But it put me in a space of going, "Oh, yeah, maybe I'm," and started second guessing my path and my journey that I've been through. And it puts people in that space. And what I like to do is inspire people, talk about my passion, talk about my why of, like I said, supporting people waking up happy. If you I talk about PowerPoints over pain points and peak and passion points, and talking about passion, because I found that people really get inspired by that. They want to be on that path. They want to join you. They want to go, "Hey, I either want to work with, collaborate with you," and it's been something that I've, because in those before 2020, especially for 10 years, it was just, I felt like so much of it I was doing wrong because I wasn't talking pain points, and because I wasn't kind of charging my worth and things like this. And when it comes to pricing, I talk about investing in people, that energetic match. If I talk about, it's great, a lot of people talk about, this is your investment in this, and they'll put the price, but it has to come from like, and me saying to people, I want to invest in you, and this is, and what I'm going to, the outcome, you're right.
Oh no, keep going. I'm
The
sorry.
the outcomes are great, but what else is there? How I want to show people that I'm investing in them, and that price is partly an investment in them as well. There is places where I could charge, I've been told I could charge 4 figures for a group program and all this. And it's like, well, what about like charging lower and seeing that as my investment in people as well, and things like that, and looking at things in different ways. And that's what I look at when I say to someone, this is an investment in you. We're going to go here. We're going to take this step, whether it's in business or relationships. And I'm stepping more into business and visionary and entrepreneur spaces, because I've been doing that behind the scenes for a long time. And part of that not wanting to step out is kind of not wanting to be seen, not in a hiding away, but being lumped in with that. So I'm really passionate about speaking about what I'm doing different. And legacy building is something that that's where I want to step into. It's because I feel like people who've got a vision or want to leave a legacy, it's like not every business owner entrepreneur really maybe has a legacy thing, but I feel like everybody who's got a vision and a legacy of business is somehow part of that. That's what I've come across. So it's not just business, it's in and out of business, about building this legacy. So any of that makes sense. I feel like I've talked to ages. I just
don't worry, I'm going to lovingly call you back to the question.
Yeah, go on, question.
But I think that you were touching on the pricing of products, and if I understood correctly, it sounds like the way that the price that you don't price gouge. There we go, and that it's a reflection of your investment in the person as well as their investment in themselves. And what I would like to add to that is one of the issues that I had, or that I didn't agree with in this space, was, one, as a business owner, I know that I need to price my services in order to run a business. So when you talked about, what'd you say? You said not charging your worth when you first started, when you first started. And so that was a hard lesson to learn. And again, if you're listening and you're a client, or if you're listening and you're a coach, here's my personal experience with not charging my worth. Obviously, you're going to get burnt out because you're doing so much work for these people, and it's going to make you a little bit more bitter, not only with your clients, but with other people who are charging way more. And then that's where it's confusing. It's like, okay, well, how much should I charge? Then you start comparing yourself to other coaches, which is definitely what I did. I was like, oh, well, I can't charge that much because this person who's way more famous than me and has way more followers than me is charging that much. So I have to charge much lower. And again, if you're a client or someone, let me just like what I've learned from raising my prices in a way that challenges my client to invest in themselves without making it clear that the profit is the only thing I'm concerned about. What that has helped me do is feel good about all of the extra work that I do for them, aside from the call, aside from, you know, what if it's a fitness coaching client, like putting the back end of setting someone up like in my app and in my system. I don't like admin work. Like something that would take someone who is focused and doesn't have ADHD, something that would take a normal human maybe 20, 30 minutes could take me 4 hours because of how my brain is just all over the place. And so for me, I am going to charge a little bit more, not an insane amount, but when I was undercharging, I couldn't figure out like why I was so stressed and why I was getting so bitter. And one, I didn't know I had ADHD. So I just thought I'm just a failure. Like I can't run business. But two, and this is something me and my girlfriend talked about this morning, when everything was just about the numbers, because this was the crowd that I was running with, when everything was just about, you know, hitting that 5-figure mark every single month, I did care about my clients, but I didn't think about how much of my energy this would require of me. And I look back at videos of myself on my lives. I look at how I was during that time. I was irritated. I was snappy when people commented on my lives. I was snappy. I'm a snappy person, but like I could just look back and see, I'm like, dang, you were tired. Dang, you were fatigued. Dang, you probably could have showed up for your clients a lot better if you weren't so worried about trying to hit this number that your coaching community says means you're a successful coach. And so I'm in a place now where I'm not comparing my prices to anybody else. I'm thinking about, Bonnie, you know how your brain works, and you know that one client's like 30 minutes of client work for someone else is 4 hours of client work for you. So what number would you be able to, and going back to the pricing to run a business, what number would you be able to either A, pay an assistant or someone to do the stuff that hurts your head to do, or B, do it yourself and not feel like, fuck, I lowballed myself again. And not only did I lowball myself, but this person, this is nothing to them. I don't know how it is over there, but like there are some people who I've given my price to when I was lowballing myself that I thought was like, I was like shaking to say the price. So like, okay, let me just do it down. And they didn't really care about my program. They didn't care about any of that. And so I know that that's a touchy space for a lot of coaches is pricing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been on during the last, since 2020, I kind of got into a panic about business and did step into this kind of the 6-figure biz as being a client. And something that I took from that, I feel like I've been in a lot of spaces over my life that have taught me not what to do or pointing me towards how to do things better. And I've sat with coaches in discovery calls and actually been honest from the beginning about how much I've got to invest in this. And they've been like, no, we'll sort it out. We'll sort it out. I sat with someone for 2 hours, 2 separate hours on a discovery call. I was very, very clear from the beginning about how much I had, like realistically. I'm like, no, it's fine. Got to the end and they were like, right, you probably want to know the price now. And I was like, yeah. And it was 4 figures a month. And a month.
How many months? Well, actually, I don't know what 4 figures. Actually, let me stop. I don't know what the program is for. So before I freak out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the point is, and I don't. That's fine. Yeah. But I've been very clear at the beginning how much I had realistically at that point in time to invest. But they got annoyed after 2 hours to go. And I had a very good, they like loads of people of the plan I've got and the vision I've got on creating an app for the Nurture Map and how I want to get that going. People have said it's amazing. And something that came out, the first thing is that the price is part of the package. We as coaches, mentors, we've got to fit that whole package includes the money, and it's got to feel exciting. You've got to feel like that is you can't just build a package and feel really excited about it and then have a price. It's got to be the whole package, and you've got to present that. I feel like you've got to include that. That's something I learned from these experiences. Is people will say, there's money coaches who will say you've got to wait for your money blocks, but then hide their price. And I'm like,
yeah,
isn't that a money block in itself? The fact that you've got to prove yourself and then give a price. And actually, getting the Nurture Map Facilitator course out again, that is a good price for my next level. It feels exciting, but I know going to people, and what I've done is I've actually gone, that figure's going to mean different things to different people. And actually so then it gives me confidence to say to people, look, this is the price, and I know this is going to mean different things, different people, and actually offer just. Because the second part of sitting there with someone, when someone's telling you you've got a good idea, this could be worth a fortune, and they're trying to do that, invest to level up kind of thing. It's like, well, invest in me. And this is where I got to with investing in people. If that person gone, okay, this is really interesting. Can I, maybe, can we hit a level? Can we hit a structure? Can I give you it free for a couple of months? And when you've hit a level, and because I believe in, the coach believes in their skill, we then go, have a percentage or have so much of what your sales are, and really invest and build with someone, build a relationship. If someone's telling you you've got a great idea, you've got a great business, then that's what came out of it. Don't hide your prices and be upfront as a whole package of someone's making a decision, and it's important. But also in that investment, can you create a unique, creative ways to support people and invest in people early on in their journey? This is something I've been looking at. I've got people who I would love, and I know they'd be an amazing part of the Nurture Map team as facilitators, and they realistically haven't got that money. And I'm saying, look, if you're passionate about this, I want to find ways of making this work. I want to make this happen. You're honoring your pricing that and your value as a coach, but also you're honoring the other person as well, because with this facilitate and with this Nurture Map, they're bringing value to the team. They're bringing value to growing the thing. And I know it's a slightly different thing, but can we as coaches lead the way in changing this culture around that? That's something I'm exploring. That's just my own personal exploration of what's happened to me and how I'm looking at doing different things.
I liked what you said. Well, that I like the part where you said they talk about money mindset blocks, but that you hide prices. So for those of you that don't understand that, like maybe you haven't, whatever, essentially what would happen with coaches for people like us, like coaches for coaches, business coaches, or sometimes even, life coaches, whatever.
Yeah.
You can't go to their website and clearly see how much it is to work with them. And I'm guilty of that. Well, not anymore. I was guilty of that because, and I love the way you called it out. It is a money mindset block. If you're going to say that you won't put your price online because people will see it and run away, as a client who has worked with multiple business coaches, if I were to say some shit like that, put it in perspective of where I'm at in my business, they would tell me, oh, what, you don't think that people can afford you? Oh, what, you think everyone's broke? Oh, that's a money mindset block. But when you flip the script and it's the ball's in their court, no, we don't hide our prices till I get on a high ticket, like a high pressure sales call that could last 2 hours, like what you said. And the thing with that I really, really, that did not sit well with me was when you let them know from the get how much you could spend. And after 2 hours, they were still trying to convince you. This is the kind of sales that I'm not for, because it's more about, like, again, profit is the bottom line. It's the main thing. Like, because they have this impression like, well, I can get them. And so now we're dehumanized. Now I'm not a client whose life or business you want to transform. Now I'm like a sale that you needed to get. And that's what makes it feel icky. Something else that go ahead.
Sorry, no, go on.
You also said investing in relationships early on. Because at first I was like, oh my God, Chris, how much free work are you doing? I was so scared. But then you finished the story. And to be honest, guys, I was not a business person. I still don't really consider myself a business person. I have a
Mm.
business, but I'm not a businesswoman like that. Um, as I grow, other people will take care of that for me. I just want to do the hippie shit and help transform lives. But outside of this online space, that's what business is all about, building
Mm.
relationships with people. I've seen the people that are going to do my website right now, like we've been on multiple Zooms. This has been
Mm.
ongoing conversations for months. And
Mm.
I keep asking them, like, you guys are helping me out so much. And I haven't even, they're like, this is what a business relationship is,
Yes.
Bonnie. And I was like,
Yes.
oh, wow. Which leads me to my next point, Chris. Like, that just blows my mind in the space. Expecting strangers to pay you large amounts of money when you haven't invested in them yet.
Mm.
Like,
Mm.
okay, so you've been on the phone with me for 2 hours and I
Mm.
don't know you well enough.
Mm.
We don't have a relationship, but I'm supposed to just trust you when there's thousands of other people online saying the same exact thing. And then having the nerve to get mad at people or calling saying they have a money mindset block because I don't want to hand over 4 stacks to someone that I don't know. That is not, like, for those of you that have been on those calls before, it is such a shitty feeling. Oh my gosh.
Mm. Mm. I mean, it's something I mean, it comes to my legacy stuff, you know. Am I being integrity with the vision I have, with the legacy I want to leave? And that's something I connect with, because that legacy and that why and what we're doing in the world, it's how I move through the web. And I've put boundaries in, and I've really learned a lot about boundaries. But there's times when it does, you know. I had someone the other day, and I put this on Facebook, who made an embodied decision. We've been back and forward about becoming a facilitator, and I'd love for it to be a part of the team. And you know, people do again, I'm not. It's just not me. I don't do the kind of celebrate someone and name them and do the whole picture thing on Facebook. It's just not me. It's people do it, people don't do it. But I wanted to celebrate this person for not choosing to join the course, because they made a really embodied decision, and it felt, I was because she messaged me and I could feel her energy. I was like, she had chosen her next 18 months, and the nurture wasn't part of that. And I fully celebrated her with that. And she said at the bottom, I'm really sorry to let you down. And that, actually reading the message, I was really emotional reading that, because I'm like, God, that felt so good that you felt safe, to be honest, to have your plan in place, to feel safe, again, feeling safe, to not invest, you know. So this is where in the past I could have, you know, if I'd been in that business space, and I like to think I've never really been in that space, I could have gone and let's shift this and been like, oh, you're not taking action. And sometimes not taking action is like, it's not taking action in your direction. It doesn't mean a client's not taking action and taking empowered decisions. And and sometimes that, you know, if we cannot take an action, believe, you know, again, feeling safe to, and like you said about invest, that relationship, coming back to that, that's why my podcast is there. My podcast is free. I have things in place to build relationships with clients at every step of their journey. And I say that I've got everything from free to my nurture mat to affordable. And I can say affordable and Powerly, because I know that's subjective to each person, but I think that then that creates energy in each person to go to check in with themselves and go, okay, what is affordable to me? Because if I know I've got those levels and that stacking of offers, then they can ask themselves, okay, what is affordable? You know, and that building a relationship is something like, and you said before, you know, out of business, it's something we need to make about business and redefine business as an important part of that thing of relationships and building trust. And again, like creating that safety inspires people to take action. And yeah, sometimes that's not in your direction, but I would rather leave that thing, because that's going to last. I know she said, well, this person was like, I will come back in 2025 because I really do want to create the nurture map. That's created a relationship. That's, the whole nurture map is about planting those seeds, building those relationships. It's not about the 6-figure months after 6 months or whatever, and it does. This is the real legacy work. You've got to, it's about building and nurturing and cultivating that space and that energy. And I will always be in line with that kind of why, purpose, legacy thing over everything, because that's what's going to build up trust in the end with potential clients, with everything that you do. That is going to become an authenticity that runs through everything. I think that answered your question.
Yeah,
I've got questions for you.
I'm gonna start time stamping, well, at least good one podcasts like this. And so the timestamp for this one was that coaches need to create safe spaces. Like, I loved how you started off on that. Just because someone's not taking action with me doesn't mean they're not taking action. And I can attest to so many people who were not able to move forward with me because they were I tend to attract women who have been through hell and back, because that's what I talk about as my story a lot. And so for women that are going through hell right now, expecting them to just put, the cost of my program on a credit card, or expecting them to just like, this isn't a business, right? So me investing in them, yes, it's going to help their mindset. And yes, it's going to help, whatever. But the fact remains, she's still got 3, 4, 5 kids. She's working full time, trying to get out of a relationship. Like, it's not the same as me investing in a business coach and then learning the tools to help me make more money. Not to downplay life coaching, because I've actually helped a lot of people go into better jobs and this and that. But anywho, all that to say, there are women that have reached out to me that wanted to work with me and couldn't, but follow everything. They listen to the podcast. They listen to the advice that I give them. They keep me posted in the DMs, updating me like, okay, I've moved out of this relationship and now I'm on my own, rebuilding my life. Okay, I'm leaving this job because it's toxic, like you said, and I'm looking for something that feels good and supports me. And so even though they didn't take action with me, doesn't mean that she wasn't taking action. I've had a man on the fitness coaching side. I've had a man that didn't sign up with me, but randomly sent me a before and after picture. And he's like, this is just following the stuff that you talk about, the steps that you say every day. And I'm just like, I think that when the hustle culture got into my head and I allowed myself to be convinced that if I wasn't rolling in all the numbers, you said 6 figures in 6 months, in 6 figures in 6 months, that I must not be good at what I do, because the money would show, and and so I started to get very disgruntled with what I did because I wasn't always seeing the fruits of my labor. But for all you coaches out there that maybe can relate with that, you have no idea who's watching. You have no idea who is taking action from your advice, from your heart, from your labor of love, getting online or making your post or writing your blogs and the stuff that you do. You're not always going to be compensated in cash. And this podcast isn't to like glorify poverty or struggle. What I'm saying is you get to still be a human, right? And it doesn't always mean that you're going to be rewarded with cash. There are people whose lives that we're changing and we don't even know. And if you believe in spirituality, you believe in God, law of attraction, universe, all that stuff, if you believe in the universal laws, you know that you're going to get back the work that you've done, whether or not it's in this season or not. And I think that's something that we forget. I know I did.
It's I did my own podcast today. I'm having trouble with my headphone. I uploaded my own podcast today, which is called We Are Nature.
Ooh, hold on, it's breaking up. What was the name of the podcast?
We Are Nature. The episode's called We Are Nature. We're not separate from it. And how much are we doing that's pulling us away from the natural state? And it's not anything to understand on the mind level. It's something, and it comes to what you're saying. We're not, when we get rewarded, natural state of the nature, its natural state is abundance. The only real thing that breaks that is scarcity, is overforesting, is over foraging. And that's what breaks it. So we get everything we need. And it is, and I would say about that, finding I had someone message me, and they were a school friend. They were, this is like going back, 25 years now, and she's been on my Facebook they've been on my Facebook for so long. And I put a post out the other day, just passionate, like, this is my thing. And they commented saying, I followed you for so long, and they haven't paid for anything, and I don't care. But they said, your content has got me through some really dark times. And I'm like, that hit me. And I have put posts up. I put a post up years ago about something about relationships, and this another school friend messaged me. Actually, it's really funny, but she messaged me and was like, that message changed my life, because I realized from that post that you put up, I needed to leave my relationship. And she left her relationship that week. And I can't not move through the world like this. I've had loads of situations like this. I had a half an hour. It sounds like I either break people up or get people to leave jobs. But I had half an hour conversation with someone. It was just before one of the lockdowns at Christmas. And I was in a cafe. I was kind of having my last cafe. It was coffee before lockdown. It was me and the waitress in there, and she was on her phone, and she seemed dead stressed. And I just spoke to her. And I said to her, what's going on? And I just gave her this visual that was really neutral in how I put it across, but it let her get something into her head. And she was like, that visual just gave me the thing that I need to leave. And then half an hour conversation. And then after lockdown, about 4 months later, I was walking past the cafe, and she stopped me. She was taking an order, and she stopped me, and she goes, I remember you. Your half an hour conversation changed my life. I left the relationship. I've got a new relationship. I'm living by the beach in an amazing house. And she was like, that 30-minute conversation, I cannot not move through the world like this. So, and funny enough, it was about 18 months ago. I can't remember, but I got onto my old Instagram account, and I only have her on there, and I forgot I had her on there, and she came up and it had a photo of the baby, and I just messaged her and was like, do you remember me? And also, is that your baby? And she's like, I totally remember you, and we've just had a baby from that conversation. She's now got children, and it's just crazy. Like, I had something on the train the other day. I can't move. Someone said, if we're going to talk about business, I do a lot for free. I move through the world like this. My partner says to me, you just talk to people, and how do you do that? You just connect to people. I can't monetize this. And coaches have gone, you need to stop doing this. You need to there is spaces where I'll give them a card, or someone will say to me, I need to work with you. I need you in my life. I was talking to someone once, and they said, I need you in my life. I don't even know what you do. I haven't even asked you that yet, but I need you in my life. And I was like, actually, yeah, I do this thing, But we have to know that we are supported. That's a belief. That is a belief. You either go through life going, I'm not supported, I am supported. I've been through so much in recent years where I know I'm supported, and it has been scary times, and there has been stuff going on, but we have to know that will come. And what's interesting is what I'm starting to lean into. We get to find creative ways to make money that feels exciting. I'm currently really passionate about creating a clothing brand with affirmation. Like, I have a lot of quotes and sayings that I bring up, and it's about us finding creative. We're creative. We live this. So finding creative ways to make money that still serves people in exciting ways. And that's part of it. And it's leaning into that this year again from a few years ago when I was in this space. It gets to create magic, and we get to find ways of doing that, creative ways. We actually get to lean into inspiring and creating and using our creativity to find ways of making money as well that can be in alignment. Breathe. Sorry.
I think, what's funny is I was going down the list of things that I want to talk about with you on today's episode. And this is one of my testaments about like being aligned. We didn't go through it like on a bullet point scale, but we've hit like I'm like, oh wow, we hit that. Oh wow, we hit that. And that's how there's like, we're hippies and we're aligned. We're always on the same page. It really lit my heart up just now when you said finding ways to make money that feels good, because right now I'm getting ready to launch tomorrow. Like, I still don't know the name. I think I'm going to call them DIY transformations, where I finally just get to, and I wanted to do this for a while. I just didn't have the capacity to do it because I was trying to have record breaking months every month. But now that I have the space to do it, I'm taking all of the fitness knowledge that I have and being myself on camera and recording a whole new like exercise library, and it feels good. Like before, when I was so busy trying to like sign clients all the time, my workout, the workout videos, they were like okay, they were like, you know, okay quality. But now I like got my little mic and I'm talking, and it's not the talking through the workouts, it's me being myself, while like, and saying the crazy shit that I say, and just laughing and showing people how I'm not perfect in the gym. And that feels so good to put together, and to also put it in like $30 PDFs, $20 PDFs, for women that have either already worked with me, or for women who just really don't need, you know, the full coaching experience, just need the workouts. And that feels good for me. It's serving the people that aren't either ready to invest, that's not something, whatever, or they just don't need it. And so I love that you brought that up. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, says about showing up online and burning out and pushing through, and we should do that all the time. But there's something we're missing in that. If we're coming back to the analogy of nature and abundance, we're creating a legacy online that goes beyond algorithms, that if you're creating, like, that's why I follow you. Like, let's be honest, part of our conversation of why the podcast hasn't happened for a while was because I had a bit of an imposter syndrome, because I'm watching you being online and doing your amazing stuff, and being like, oh shit, you know, she's wanting me to turn up and do a podcast with this amazing human. And it's the magnet, it's the authenticity. And that's why I kind of, for ages, was like, oh no, you know, Siobhan's kind of just this, or put you on a pedestal basically, and then get back into the humanness. But the part of the thing is building up, knowing how to create that legacy online. That's evergreen. You know, when you talk about evergreen business, podcasts are evergreen. And I'm not saying everyone should go out and start a podcast, because I started mine and people got inspired and like, oh, I really want to start a podcast. And I said to them, are you inspired because it's actually your next evolution, or are you inspired because I'm just fucking love you feel my excitement about doing a podcast? And then, you know, I could become a podcast coach, and I do want to do a record of just press record and help people. But the check-in at the beginning is to say, is this your natural evolution? Is this happening because you feel inspired to start a podcast? Not, I'm going to sell you this course for whatever. And you know, it's people's discernment. It's empowering them to check in with themselves, because a lot of people don't get results because they're being told, you know, what to do. You know, if I could just get everyone on this podcast course and say, everyone needs a podcast, and show the figures and show the things. But at the end of the day, it's not going to get results if the person, it's not their skill, it's not their quirkiness, it's not their magic, it's not what lights them up. It's not going to happen. You know, mine started because I used to take voice notes on the beach. I'd walk the beach and I couldn't have my notepad. It would be windy. So I took voice notes and sent them to friends, and they'd be like, you should do a podcast with these. Funny story is that kind of happened then in 2020 when everyone was starting podcasts. So I was being the rebel going, I don't want to join this crowd of everyone just starting podcasts now. You know, so that's what actually cut, and just getting out of that, because the idea did excite me. So that's why I started it. But we all have different paths. You know, the pain point culture, in fact, shows us this, because there's a small pool of pain points and an infinite many solutions. So the fact that shows us an infinite amount of solutions shows us many different paths, because those pain point solutions have been created by people who followed their heart and then tried to and it worked for them, and they've tried to turn it into a program, when actually it's following the heart. That was something that happened with the nurture map. You know, that's something that happened with the nurture map, because I hit a point where I had to actually turn this into. I had a friend of a friend come to me and say, I believe you do these workshops and you've been helping them for our friends, and how much do you charge? And I'm like, charge? I've just been helping people. You know, they're like, no, I want to pay you for this. You know, and you can't. This does happen. And I started going through it with him, because I've been doing it generally, but then I felt like I had to step into this facilitator at least of helping them create their map. And I started copying what I'd done. I'd done yoga, I'd done the gym, and they were like, this isn't working for me. And I took a step back and like, shit, I'm doing that thing where I'm cookie cuttering my map onto other people's maps. And I went right back to the blank page, which is where I started with my mental health stuff. When I was going through a bad period, I visualized the blank page and I was like, I just need a reset. And I got a blank page. I got an A4. I was like, no, I need bigger. So I got the big A3 blank art pads and just started jotting down everything I felt in my heart, the curiosity, the passion, the stuff that felt good and inspired to do. So I needed to get that into it. And that's where the nurture map came from. So I realized very early on the mistake of the cookie cutter world and the pain point world, because there isn't one solution that fits all, because the actual pain point culture shows that in itself. You know, it's about learning. Real coaching is learning how to get back to the basics with people and let them lead the way, guide them in leading their own way. You know, I say to people, you think a lot of people think they're coming, or it's set up to think that you're coming for the answers or the steps or the how to, but really people are coming for permission to step in their own space. But I'm taking that one step further and lead you into your own permission, to give yourself that permission every single time. I say the best thing for my work would be to not have any clients, because then everything would be, we'd all be in this space. And if that's the legacy you want to leave, it can be scary going, do you know what, if this work was so far reaching, everyone got it, I wouldn't have clients. So that legacy goes beyond the business. And most business coaches are like, that's just ridiculous, don't have that dream, don't do that, you don't want to not have clients. But there's always creative ways then of making money or serving people, or there's loads of different ways. There's so many opportunities that feel good to do that. So gonna take a breath, because we're
like how one of my favorite coaches that I got to work with, she what I liked about her was that she wanted to scale her coaching program and keep it intimate, which is why I was always so hesitant. Now that I'm coming full circle and slowing down from, I got to scale, and I'm just coming back to serving my clients and my community, and okay with the gradual scale. I need to put a bullet point on that: gradual scale and nervous system. Don't forget money. Okay. Her goal was they said, you'll never be able to do that. You won't be able to scale an intimate coaching program. Like, it's impossible. And she did. She wasn't in Slack with us and messaging us every day, but the way that she created her community, like she had one cohort, it started from August to October. It was 3 months. And within Slack, like there were so many students that signed up for her thing. She had like 12 different groups, and each group had one support coach and one accountability coach. And when we do our group calls, the other coach was taking notes of when each person would talk, she had an in-depth thing, so that, halfway through the week, like, hey, Bonnie, you said on the call that you wanted to do this and that. How's that going? How's that looking? And I just remember looking at my phone like, oh, wow, I thought I was just another number. And when I left that program, I had never felt like, I think she was the last real business coach I hired. Everybody else was like a specialty thing, like how to get better on camera or how to do marketing better. But she was the last business coach whose 3-month program I did. And she doesn't run that program anymore, which lets me know she's not just about the money. Because I think she made an insane amount of money, and then she stopped, and now she's focusing more on energetics and spirituality for entrepreneurs, because she sees that need there. And I forget where I was going with this, but
was it the safety and regulated nervous systems?
Yes. So
the bullet
I'm not
point
sure how those were connected, huh?
The bullet point that you put down.
Yeah, you said something though that made me think of her. Oh, she taught us how not to build cookie cutter programs. Like, yes, there's going to be how to make a menu for our clients, kind of like what you talked about. And then also just, doing it your way. Like, if someone says that I can't do this, your business coach is telling you not to do it this way because you won't make any money. And it's like, there are people who are in this space just to make money, right? And that's the differentiating factor. Like, obviously, this is my full-time profession, fitness and life coaching, so I need to make money. However, there are some things that I've done in my business. Like this summer, I did a self-healing series that was originally supposed to be a paid program. And I was like, you know what? Let me just have this out here as a labor of love. And it kind of is in
mm,
alignment. You talked about legacy and then building relationships with people ongoing. A lot of the work that I have to do with people, or that I get to do with people, is getting past their
mm,
mindset and healing. Because the life coach
mm,
isn't supposed to go in the past so much, but I find me and my clients end up going in the past a lot, because we can't even get them into the present so that we can map their future, because they're so tied to their past. So for me
mm,
to create that self-healing series and just leave it on Facebook or leave it on YouTube, I'm actually I'm helping myself out big time, because half of the work, like, they already know where I'm coming from, and two,
mm,
it's helping them overcome stuff, and they may
mm,
take action with me, they may take action in other ways, but I love that. Like that didn't make me any money. And I'm sure
mm,
people are like, why would you do that? It wasn't a ploy, like, like the web. Sorry, I sound bitter. I'm not. But there's sometimes where you'll sign up for free
mm,
things and it's all just a pitch. This was not a pitch. Like at the end, I was like, if you need more help, this is how you get a hold of me. But here are some resources. And some of the resources wasn't even my stuff. It was like, hey, this is a
mm.
really good site to go, work on shadow work. Hey, this is a really
Yeah.
good site for meditations on this. So it's
Mm,
not always about making the money all the time. And if you are ever about to sign up with a coach, you're on their social media page or whatever, and you get this feeling that they don't truly have your best interest in mind, guys, listen. Because there was a big difference between that coach that I described in the beginning, the girl that made her intimate program. She may not have known me, but I feel like she had my best interest in mind. And that's something that's super important that we need to consider. And I think Chris froze. So I'm going to stop talking for a second and see. Well, hopefully he unfreezes soon. Chris, if you can hear me, you're frozen. I'm going to touch on the gradual growth and nervous system thing. Um, now that I've slowed down from feeling the need to grow so rapidly and scale or whatever, not, yes, scale. Um, I think we lost him. We get to grow at the level that our body is comfortable at growing. If you've ever wondered why you didn't get a vision, or you've been asking God to show me the future, show me the vision, and we've all asked that, like, just show me what's next so I can stop worrying, you'll still worry. When your mind can see everything, and if you don't have experience with like slowing down, planning, I'm not a planner, could you imagine? Your brain will see the vision and feel like you have to have it all right now, especially us women. You will feel like I have to do all of this right now, and you'll overwhelm yourself. And then if you're watching social media and comparing yourself to other coaches, then you will definitely overwhelm and possibly even burn yourself out like I did. And what I'm learning is that when it comes to growth in your business, and whether you're one of my fitness clients, when it comes to growth with your fitness journey, you get to make progress at the level in which your nervous system is feeling okay with it. I'm not saying never do anything that scares you, never do anything that excites you. What I am saying is that if, as you are growing, the entire time you feel like you're nervous, you're scared, you're on edge, you're stressed, that's not the pace that you're supposed to grow in, and that's okay. There's a lot of work that could be uncovered there. But I'm not sure what happened with Chris. Looks like he kind of something there didn't go well. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna try to cover a couple more topics and then in this podcast. But one of the things that we talked about, and I just said it, that we wanted to talk about, was it's not necessary to scale your business overnight. You don't have to. Just like it's not necessary for you to lose 30 pounds in 30 days or even 90 days. It's not necessary. There's so many life lessons and wisdoms and just things that are supposed to be learned over time, not overnight. And we do ourselves such a disservice when we try to skip those stages. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about was this bullying in this coaching space right now. He's back. He's back. There we go.
I have no idea what happened there.
It is all good. I was just talking about how we don't have to rush overnight, and to listen to our bodies as we are moving and making decisions in our business. And if you're not a coach, listening to your body as you make decisions to sign up with a coach, like that one girl did with you. And then I wanted to wrap up with, there's this, I didn't put it on our notes about what we would talk about. This is relatively new, but I sent you some stuff on Instagram. There were 2 pages, and I had to decide whether I agreed with these pages or not. Um, so let me explain. So there is a page that literally like puts coaches on blast that they don't agree with, like has screen recordings of, and these I'm talking about specifically like manifestation coaches, manifestation slash business coaches, and females particularly. And this account has a screen recording of all of their things and is talking about just how toxic it is and this, and that. And I was kind of on the fence with it because yes, there are some toxic people who use law of attraction and spirituality, um, and a little bit of their privilege to kind of like not bully but manipulate people into investing because it's spiritual and it's out of faith. But that's like like as I'm watching the video, one of the things that hit me is this: as a coach, I have to believe that people can change or give people the space to. And it just didn't sit well with me. Like, it's one thing to disagree with bullshit that we see in the industry, because that's kind of what this episode is about. But it's quite another for me to put people's name and record their content and put it online. I'm like, now, at what point does this not become bullying? Like, and those people can change. Like, we're not giving them the space to change. I mean, we're just assuming that they are rotten at the core. And I don't think that's it, especially from the females. I think that from the females, we've had to, when it comes to making money and when it comes to competing, when it comes to running your own business, we kind of have to. I don't know. I had it in my head. There we go. We're competing with the patriarchy. And so I've seen a lot of women that have had to do some very masculine, and I don't want to use these two terms synonymously, but masculine / manipulative tactics to grow their businesses. And no, I don't agree with it. But also, as someone whose business has grown slower, right, I can see the incentive in doing that. And I follow a lot of women who went that route, like Boss Bitch, the high ticket and high pressure. And now they're spiritual coaches because they stepped back. Their nervous system was fried. They didn't feel aligned. They realized the way they were building their business was not what they were meant to do. And now they're working to undo that. So I think that, and that's why I wanted to touch on that, because there's a light at the end of the tunnel. One, trends don't ever last forever. So go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I say, I've been in this space since 2010, and I was speaking about this. I didn't have a Facebook page, I didn't have a Facebook group, but I had clients from around the world. It's possible. It's about inspiring people into the fact, if you're watching this and you're a coach or a business coach or whatever it is, that there is other ways possible to do it aligned. And it does take time, but that can take time as well. Everything can take time. But also, as soon as you align with it, you know, there's a quote once that, like, things don't take time, they take alignment. And once you step into that alignment, things can just shift in a quantum way. And like, we haven't even started on the overuse of quantum and quantum leaps as a reworking hustle culture in the spiritual space. That's for another day. But there is other ways, and I felt through those 10 years I didn't really get a business coach because it was about pain point culture. It was about what you're solving. So I stayed away, and I really got into I couldn't find anybody else teaching in this way or talking about things in this way. And now what's great is there's so many. You've sent me accounts, good accounts, inspiring accounts that are going, not just calling stuff out, but we have to present a different way. There's lots of different ways, and there is a dismantling, and there is a slight, there's a dismantling we have to do with those things which aren't good for coaches or possible clients. There's a dismantle of that culture, but there's also talking about, like I say, inspiring, talking about there is different ways to do this. There is ways to do this that brings you money. There is ways of creating relationships with clients, creating a safe space so clients feel not just inspired to get you as a client, a coach, but also inspire them to take action. And I think that's important. I think it's about presenting that in that way for me.
I like, yes. Like, we have like, I don't know, I have so many nuggets from you. I'm so, anytime you saw me doing this or going like this, I was writing it down and making sure that it got timestamped so that people could come back and hear just the wisdom of someone that's been in the game a lot longer than when it, started to become cool, or it was the number one pandemic side hustle. So if you guys have gotten anything from this today, well, I know you have, but my goal is for you to hear what it sounds like when there are people that are actually not concerned, well, yeah, invested in this work far more than just how quickly can I get rich. And I know that from the outside looking in, that it probably doesn't look that way, but I want you to know that there are still people out there that genuinely love this work and are fighting for the integrity of this work and in this space. So if you've ever been hesitant, or if you've ever doubted either the validity or the need for one, you heard Chris himself say, like, people just being in his presence are like, I need you in my life. I don't even know what you do. And I used to get that. Like, I would have people, well, yours is more in person, but like during the pandemic, I'd have people message me and be like, I want you as my coach. I don't even know what kind of coaching you do, but I just want it. And I felt like I felt bad because I was like, dang it, man, that means my marketing's not good enough. Dang it, man, that means my niche isn't clearly defined. Dang it, man, I'm doing something wrong, and people don't even know what kind of coach I am. And I'm looking back now and I'm like, that wasn't anything wrong that I did. Anybody from the outside looking in can see I'm a fitness coach and a life coach. Like, I talk about life shit and I talk about fitness. The reason why that person was so confused is because coaching got made into like this thing where it's like, were you this? Were you that? Were you, like, and there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but I just want people to trust this occupation, this calling, this work that we do again, and not feel like everyone is out to scam them. And this combo could go on for hours, but I literally
I think we need to do a second part.
yeah. So I'm like, I also just, oh Lord, I got too close to the mic. I also just feel like I would love for my community to hear your heart more and hear, because like he's a coach for me, guys. Like I just listen to his wisdom and snap. And so I want you guys to hear like the kind of wisdom that I get poured into so that you can understand the need for people like him. So.
Thank you. That means a lot. It really does mean a lot. It's been a long journey, and I'm so just glad and passionate there's platforms and spaces like yours to actually talk about these different ways and creating relationships with people. And actually, I'm trying to keep the swears down to a minimum, but really effing care about people, and it's interesting because you said about people wanting to pay to be in your well, but that's the thing, and you have to honor that. If someone's actually gone, that's them taking action. If someone's gone, I just want you in my life, I don't even know what coaching you do, like that creates an opportunity to create a really cool package with that person to say, okay, what's drawing you to me? What can I do? How can I help you? What are you seeing? See, I don't really do niche marketing. I've never really done niche marketing. I've never really done pain marketing. I say like authenticity is your currency, and that's one of my something I'm really passionate about, because that authenticity and currency of energy, and people get drawn in, so it creates people to come into your field that you can go, hey, what has drawn you to me? What have you seen in me that I can help you with? What are you getting? Let's create an amazing package that might not even be on the sheet. It might be like, it gets you, I've had people come to me and say, look, I'm really busy. I want to take action. I really think you can help me, but I haven't got time to spend on a one-to-one. Can we do like messaging, mentoring? How does that work? And I've gone, this is really cool, actually. I mean, we've spent a lot of time. We've spent the last 18 months doing that.
No, that's so true. Actually, on a point to add to that, and I know I got to hop off because I need to go to the bathroom, but to that point, I love that you said that, because I had somebody hit me up yesterday and I was explaining what the like what I'm offering right now, and she's like, well, could we possibly do something like that, like what you were saying, like the messaging and this and that. And back when I was trying to make my business, well, one, simplify it because it was a little complicated. I'm not gonna lie. I had so many offers and was doing so many things that was just extremely stressful because I was bending for everybody. But for any of you coaches who can relate to how I felt like I was always changing stuff or it wasn't perfect and this and that, one of the reasons why I don't think that you should scale overnight is because we haven't, if you're still like, I haven't been a life coach for, well, it's about 5 years now, but still, and then church, you count that too. But the point is, like, you got to figure out what's going to work best for you and the people that you serve. And if that takes you 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's okay. And I would always guilt myself for changing my programs for people. But if someone's, that's also a form of market research. If the people that you're attracting are all asking for, can we just have WhatsApp messaging, then that's a sign that the market is moving towards, unfortunately, too busy to have calls, but they'll have that. And if you haven't been able to sell packages because you're trying to make it what your business coach told you you had to do, one size fits all, so you can easily and quickly package it up and scale to as many and sell to as many people as possible, and that doesn't feel good for you, then that's your sign that that's not what the fuck you're supposed to be doing. That there are people that want to work with you and people that do want to pay you and people that will, that will respect the work that you do in your life and won't burn you out. But you're busy trying to sell them stuff that's not going to serve them in the best way or something they're not interested in. So there.
It's just, it doesn't have to be that then it just introduces you. It helps you use your creativity, use our creativity to come up with creative solutions to help people where they're at in their life. And it doesn't have to be that means that's the way, it doesn't mean that's the way it goes. It could just be a one client. It gives you an opportunity to create something new though, and
it's your business.
Yeah. You get to shape your business how you want to shape it. You're not an employee of your business. That is such a massive thing I've learned over these years. You get to shape it exactly how you want to shape it. It serves you, it serves you, it serves your nervous system, it serves your life. I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in work-life integration. And that's the power that we get to do with all of this. We get to shape it how we want to shape it. I'm going to pause there because I know you need to go.
No, but that's it. I wanted to wrap up with your explanation, the one right before this. I was like, that's the definition of a soul-centered coach. That's why I love the name of this. Like, we are centered around how can we help improve this person's life in a way that makes sense to them. So, Chris, thank you so much
You're so welcome.
For being here and doing this with me. This is my first time using StreamYard. So fingers crossed, like I'm probably going to have to screen record. I like it though. I like the names across the bottom. That makes us happy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, till next time, Chris, thank you so much for joining us. Where can people find you?
I am all over social media as Create Your Life for Chris. I have my own kind of link in bio mini site that is nurturemap.com. CLYW. I've shortened that. CLY. Create Your Life for Chris. It's the initials of that. I can't think off the top of me. I've shortened it because it was so long to get into bio, so I've shortened it to just the initials of each letter, if that makes sense.
So on Instagram, because I'm going to try to type it, but my brain was doing weird things. Create Your Life with Chris.
Yeah.
And then what were you spelling out? An email just now? What was that initial thing?
The website. I've got like a link in bio. You can find my podcasts and my work and everything on a link in bio type site. If that's a great tip, just quickly, if you've got a website and you need a link in bio, get it off your website, use it on your website. I use Squarespace. I don't know if you should have to say, but you can create your own mini bio link in bio on in your website, and it drives more people to your website as well, and you get complete control rather than having to pay for link in bio sites. That's my little tip. I'm going to leave it there.
There you go, guys. There you go. All right, Chris, well, you have an amazing evening, and I'm going to go have lunch and get some work done.
It's Create Your Life with Chris, by the way.
Bonnie? I'm sorry. I yell at myself sometimes. Create Your Life. Thank gosh. Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad he said something. So, guys, screenshot
And that's all. That's on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Oh. Not Threads. Just Instagram, guys. Not just Instagram. I'm going to get better at this ticker thing on the next time.
All right.
All right. Until next time. Thank you so much, Chris.
See you soon. Bye.